the years, he's delved into the lives of everybody from exotic pet owners to porn stars to hardened criminals. But in his new documentary series, Extreme Love, Louis Theroux gives us an intimate look into what it's like to live with mental illness. And before we talk to him, let's take a look at what happened when he became a carer for the day to dementia sufferer Nancy.
Ready?
Aim, fire.
Exactly. You did it.
Of course. Hello. Hello. What are you laughing?
Because you keep kissing the ball.
Well, I have nobody else here to kiss.
Louis joins me now. She'd rather kiss the ball than kiss you. That's a shame.
I don't know if that was... It seemed almost like it was an invitation to kiss her.
Oh,
I love that clip because you can see how she's eccentric, but there's so much warmth there. And,
totally.
And it feels like, you know, technically, of course, Alzheimer's is a disability, but you can still enjoy it. So there's so much to enjoy still.
That's what I really liked about it, because it wasn't... Of course, it's a horrendous disease, and it's quite rightly getting a lot more attention. But yours was actually... Your documentary was actually quite heartwarming. And the way that the organisation dealt with it, in that they allowed the people with Alzheimer's to almost kind of be in their own little world, didn't they?
Right, we should say there was a school I went to, which is... sorry, not a school, it was a home for a care home, a memory support place, in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix, of course, in America being a big destination for the elderly and therefore a big capital for dementia. And what they did there at this memory support place was, instead of challenging the delusions and contradicting the people and saying, no, you didn't see an intruder, no, you are... They would play along with them to minimise the distress of the people there.
I can understand that. What was really sad was Carla's story. You know, she was married to a man who actually doesn't remember her, married for 30 years.
That's right.
He doesn't remember her, and he's got 2 other girlfriends that he's met in the home.
That's right.
And her story, I thought, was really fascinating.
And it's not that uncommon in the world of Alzheimer's and dementia, that you forget that you're married and that then you go off and form these new attachments, these new relationships, which is... you know, sad for the family, but Carla, Gary's wife, had taken this sort of very loving, very mature attitude of accepting it and saying, you know, this is just the new reality and we still have a relationship, but it's changed. It's
quite a different approach for you, isn't it? It's quite different to what you've been done before.
Well, I'd done one last week, last Thursday, that was about autism. And in fact, it was... So these are paired, but it was the dementia one that I did first, and I knew it was a bit of a leap into the unknown because I'm known... perhaps for doing stories about more controversial subjects or subjects where people are in some way perceived as being up to no good. And we had a lot of conversations in the office, and then in the end I thought, well, you know, I'm interested in this. And, you know, there's a genuine curiosity that I feel means that, you know, that will emerge and that we should be true to that and just attempt to tell the story.
No, exactly, and it does. The thing about you is you charm people, even monsters you've charmed when you talk to them. But but it works because you get so much more out of them than if you have that sort of gladiatorial style, don't you think?
Well, I agree with that, and that's certainly, you know, charming monsters and showing a human side and a vulnerability has been sort of a stock in trade for me. What's been strange doing the dementia one, of course, is that, you know, they're regular people. They're in no way monsters. They're just people who've who've had this thrust upon them. And the oddness is that, in some ways, it's easier to talk to a monster, so-called, than it is to someone who's suffering from dementia. So I've been... You know, the danger of the Ku Klux Klan or a strange, crazy cult that demonstrates in America, those stories I've done in the past actually pale when faced with attempting to form a connection and, you know, the sense of anxiety I felt in being immersed in the world of the you know, the mentally challenged. Yeah,
I know it must have been so different because you don't... Because apart from anything else, you're interviewing someone who then probably halfway through the interview forgets why they're doing it.
It was a big issue, and when I was caring for Nancy, I spent the day with her. And every so often through the day, she'd say, who are you? What are you doing here? And I'd say, Nancy, I'm Louis. We're here. I've been told to take care of you for the day. Although she didn't seem annoyed about it. She was just a bit bad. Or she said to the cameraman, we kept this in, who is that guy over there? Referring to me. And then Gary, every time... He thought he was on a military base. And he'd been a dentist. He thought he was still practising dental work on a military base. In fact, he was in this care home. So whenever he got confused and distressed... The carers would say, Gary, would you mind having a look at my teeth? And then he would sort of go into this, he'd say, oh, of course, I'll take a look at your teeth. And then he would examine them and sort of forget that he'd been distressed about something.
It's a really interesting approach. You wonder if perhaps it would work over here. Maybe there are places over here who are trying to do that. But, you know, instead of saying to them, no, that's not right, this is right, just kind of going along with
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
And the place is quite inspirational. And early on, you know, we're used to seeing exposés of care homes, and we made a conscious decision to say, let's find the best place, the place that's really leading the way in terms of techniques. And because Alzheimer's and dementia, it can be very grim, very bleak indeed. So let's at least contextualise that in a more positive way and say, look, let's see what people can learn from this.
It's really good. It's on tonight, BBC 2, 9 o'clock. Tomorrow night, sorry, excuse me, tomorrow night, BBC 2, 9. And are you going out to buy a new suit? Because your cousin is going out with a superstar.
Yes.
It's fantastic, isn't it? Look, there he is with Jennifer Aniston. How cool is that?
He's living the life.
He is living the life, Louis. He really is. There would be a documentary for you to do. That would be a good one.
I'm working my way very gently up to that question.
Good. Well, whatever happens, I hope you all enjoy it and welcome her to the family. It's so lovely to see you. And I'll be watching that tomorrow night, 9 o'clock.
Thank you
Thank you very much.